When I first got into paranormal investigations, I thought I knew what to expect. Cold spots, mysterious sounds, maybe a flickering light or two. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened during one particular investigation. It was the kind of experience that stays with you, no matter how much you try to rationalize it or convince yourself it was just your imagination. The story begins with an old house on the outskirts of town, a crumbling Victorian with peeling paint, sagging shutters, and an eerie reputation. Locals called it the Redfern House, and it had been abandoned for decades. Rumors swirled about its history, mysterious deaths, disappearances, and sightings of shadowy figures in the windows. Some said it was cursed, others claimed it was a portal to something far worse. Naturally, I was intrigued. It all started with a call from a local historian, a man named Greg. He'd been researching the house and claimed to have uncovered evidence of occult rituals performed there in the 1800s. "You need to see this place for yourself," he said, his voice tinged with both excitement and unease. "But be careful, it's not just a house. It's something else." His words sent a chill down my spine, but I couldn't resist the pull of the unknown. Armed with my investigation gear, a digital recorder, an EMF detector, and a thermal camera, I decided to visit the house the following weekend. Greg offered to meet me there and provide some context about its dark past. The first thing I noticed as I approached the house was the air. It felt heavy, almost oppressive, like it was pressing down on me. The overgrown yard was littered with broken furniture and rusted tools, as if the previous occupants had left in a hurry and never returned. Greg was already waiting by the front gate, his face pale and drawn. "This is it," he said, gesturing toward the house. "The place where it all began." As we stepped inside, the temperature seemed to drop several degrees. The air smelled musty, with an undercurrent of something metallic, like old blood. The floorboards creaked under our weight, and every sound echoed through the empty halls. Greg led me to the living room, where a massive, soot-streaked fireplace dominated the space. Above it hung an old mirror, its surface clouded and cracked. "This mirror," Greg said, pointing to it, "is where people say they've seen things. Faces, shadows, figures that shouldn't be there." I set up my equipment and began asking the usual questions. "Is anyone here? Can you give us a sign of your presence?" For a long time there was only silence, broken by the occasional creak of the house settling. Then, what happens next will haunt you. Watch the full story now on Frightful Murmurs.